foodies. Today USA Foodie presents Gur Ka Patisa. I was inspired by watching Village Food Secrets recipe of making Gur Ka Patisa the traditional way. And today I'm going to try this in my kitchen. Just change the recipe a little bit to suit our convenience. I'm not going to cook a big batch of it. So I have toned down the recipe. For this, you have to make sure that you get the light colored jaggery and not the dark colored jaggery, because then it will ruin the color of your patisa. For this recipe, you will need 1/4 cup ghee, 1 kg gur or jaggery. This came in a jar and the jar was about 1 kg quantity. 1.5 cups to 2 cups of flour. And again, over here today, as everybody knows that I use gluten-free flour, I have used gluten-free all-purpose flour, but you can use all-purpose flour, the regular maida. 1 tablespoon of water and half a teaspoon of baking soda. You do not want to put more water in this because gur already has a lot of water that it's going to leave. So that's why I've taken only 1 tablespoon water. All these ingredients you will need for cooking. And then we have for garnish 1/4 cup of almonds, 1/4 cup of cashews. You can also use pistachios or any other nut, peanuts or walnuts, but I like these 2 nuts, so we have used almonds and cashews. 1/4 cup of dry coconut and 1/4 cup of raisins. So let's start this recipe quickly. So in a non-stick pan, I have put my 1 kg of gur, and to this I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of water. Set your heat on medium high. You don't want it too high. If I feel that I need more water, which I don't think I will, I might add more and I'll let you know how much I added, but for now we're just doing 1 tablespoon. So it has only been about 2 minutes since I turned the gas on with the water and the gur, and already you can see that the gur is melting. You might want to reduce the flame at this time to somewhere in between medium and low. I don't want this gur to burn, and that's the whole reason why we are using a non-stick pan for this recipe. In the meantime, while I allow this to melt, we are going to grind some. So as you can see that the gur has melted and it has become into liquid, and at this point I have added the 1/4 cup of desi ghee into the gur. I'm going to give it a good mix. The next ingredient to go in will be the flour. There are no lumps of gur. You have to make sure that the gur has completely melted. And you see 1/4 cup of ghee is good enough for this recipe. So after grinding the almonds and cashews, this is how it looks like. It's almost like a flour consistency. So I am just going to keep cooking this for a bit. So in this I have added 1.5 cups of flour, and I'm mixing it to make sure that there are no lumps of flour. This recipe surprisingly is not as complicated as I thought patisa to be. The only next step left is to take this off the stove. And when we take it off the stove, we're going to add the baking soda to it. Not the baking powder. Please don't use baking powder. Baking powder and baking soda are 2 different things. I do see some rice lumps, so I'm making sure I break them. because the heat kind of makes pockets of flour and you want to break those pockets of flour. When the mixture reaches this consistency, I want you to put 1 teaspoon of baking soda into it. The stove is turned off. You don't have to keep the stove on. I'm just gonna put this in here, and we're gonna mix it quickly to incorporate all this baking soda in it. And the baking soda is going to give it this light color as well as add some bubbles into the mixture. You can see the bubbles forming. Now that you see the patisa has these bubbles in it, and it has thickened and changed the color to a lighter color from the gur. Now it's ready to go in a dish that's lined with parchment paper. Look at those bubbles inside the patisa. You don't want to lose that. This is different from son papdi. This is patisa, it's Gur Ka Patisa, and in this, you instead of having layers, you will see a lot of bubbles. So if you're mistaking this for son papdi, it's not. Patisa is a little different from son papdi. What I'm doing now is I'm spreading the patisa and making it even. So there's just one slight change in the recipe. We will add about 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda to get these bubbles. If you put less, you will not get the bubbles. Okay, the final step is I have a mixture of my almonds, cashews, coconut, and raisins in here, and I'm going to top and spread it all around and cover the top of the patisa with all of this garnish. I'm going to just spread it out nice and even, and while I'm spreading it, I'm going to make sure I press it down so that the raisins get stuck. Make sure that you have the raisins all spread out and not in one spot. After this, I'm going to let it cool down, and then we're going to cut it into pieces.
Welcome viewers, today I'm going to be tasting Gur Ka Patisa.
And you're going to taste it?
Bismillah. It's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
How much did you eat so far?
Like 6.
Alright, say bye to everybody.
Bye. I love it.